Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in our keynotes. We have several keynotes lined up throughout the day, and it'll be really great for all of you to join, as much as possible while still working on your project. So, what is innovation and how do you spark it? Today, Norman Sasono will be answering that question with us. Pak Norman is the Chief Technology Officer at Dana Indonesia, a digital financial services platform. Prior to Dana, Pak Norman co-founded
Hi
Busy
everyone. Thank you so much for
and is the
joining
Chief
us
Technology
in our
Officer of
keynotes. We have
Busy.co.id, a B2B online marketplace that acts as a platform for logistics and distributions in Indonesia. He's also the founder of Loyalty Express, a loyalty program for Indonesia. And with more than 20 years of wisdom in founding companies, as well as working in Microsoft Intermedia, Pak Norman is here to impart knowledge and wisdom, and we hope it will be beneficial for you. Please welcome Pak Norman.
Hello, Brian. Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. Thank you very much for the invite. So I can just jump right into the presentation, right? Okay. So yeah, once again, thank you very much. So Brian has introduced me that my name is Norman. I'm the CTO of Dana Indonesia, and today in this keynote, I would like to share my thoughts, my learning, and my views on the specific topic around innovation. And yeah, it has been shared before. So I have 2 decades experience in the industry and currently running the technology team in Dana. We are serving more than 40 million users at the moment. And I co-founded 2 tech startups, and I had an experience working for Microsoft for 8 years. And after this session, if you still want to continue discussions, to have a discussions with me, feel free to reach out to me through various social media there. You can reach out to me in LinkedIn, in Instagram, or in Twitter. You can ask questions, we can discuss and yeah, talk more about the topics or any other topics around technology and innovation. So these are the 3 things that I look after as a CTO. So the first one is on the operational excellence. Number 2 is value creation agility, and number 3 is innovation. So operational excellence, when we are serving more than 40 million users already, so we want to ensure all operational aspects are there. So it is the stuff like the SLA of the availability of the systems, the scalability, the security. There is no fund loss in the payment transaction that been made. There is no incidents in productions and so forth. So basically, this is the operations day to day, how we continuously serving the users. Number 2 is about value creation agility. It's about how much we can ship within a given time frame. So it's about the throughput or the rate of the new features that we build for our users, and it also mandates how we increase overall developer for productivity, individual developer productivity, as well as defining and designing and implementing an architecture that allows agility. So we talk about microservices, we talk about messaging mechanism, we talk about patterns and so forth that ensure we ship things fast. And the last bit of the thing that I look after is the innovation part. So if you look at it, the first 2 things, the operational excellence and value creation agility, it's more like a business as usual thing. This is what we do day in, day out. This is the regular day-to-day work. While the last piece is the innovation part, which is more on things that not necessarily business as usual. These are the breakthrough new things and things that I would like to elaborate further in this keynote. So, to me, innovation is about effectively solving a problem. Yeah, that is number one. And the second aspect is it approaches a problem in a whole new different way that has not been done before, or it does a similar fashion in approaching a problem like what is already exists in the market, but in a way much better manner. So I put it as like 10x better than the existing solution. So anything that don't fall into that don't have these two attributes, I may not necessarily categorize that as innovation. So the first attribute that it should have is it should effectively solving a particular problem, and then it approaches the problem in a whole new different way, or 10x better than the existing solutions. And to give you the contrast, that innovation is actually different from improvement, and innovation is way much bigger than improvement. In innovation, we talk about the 10x factor, while improvement is probably just x plus 1. Nothing is wrong with improvement. It's at a smaller scale, so to speak. So innovation is about the scaling capabilities. So this is how we can differentiate which one is innovation, which one is improvement. Nothing is wrong with improvement. Improvement is okay. But then if you can really come up with innovation, that's where the 10x is. And the next question would be, should we start with the technology? Yeah, not really. So these are the wisdom from Steve Jobs that I really believe as well, is that he said we should start with what incredible benefits can we give to customers. Where can we take the customers, or take customer from here to there? So not starting with what technology we have and try to stuff in it, and how we're going to market that. Start always with the customer experience, and then work backwards and look for what technology can support for that customer experience. So these are the mindset that I would like to share. And yeah, first things first, when you want to innovate, you need to ensure that there is a worthy problem to be solved first. As I said earlier, innovation is about effectively solving a problem. So if there is no problem, then there is no innovation. So it should address a particular problem. So the question that you need to ask in anything that you want to build, anything that you want to create, is there a problem? Who are facing the problems? How many out there are facing these problems? And when or what situation these users or this set of people are facing these problems? So we need to be very really clear on this problem statement itself, and then you need to be able to elaborate what are the pains and what are the gains. So what are the pains that the user is experiencing when he wants to do something? That is a problem. Or there is a gains that they want to achieve that they don't have right now. It is a problem. And then you need to also check what happens if the pains are not addressed or the gains are not achieved. And then from that, you need to be able to come up with a problem definition. You should define it in a matrix, quantify it, and it should be measurable, and you should be really data driven. I give you an example on what we are doing in Dana. So if you look at the problem definition, basically there are 270 million Indonesians, okay? And then there are banks been operating for decades, but the bankable Indonesians are maybe about 70 millions. The other 200 millions are not bankable. They are unbankable. So this is the problem. This is the problem definition. And then we also have the data that 170 million Indonesians are actually connected to the mobile internet. So if we leverage this technology, we can deliver content to 170 million people in Indonesia. And that content can also be a financial services such as payment. So we come up with a solution, building a platform, building an app that can reach potentially 170 million people and give them financial services, give them a solution that was never really can be done before with the traditional operations of banks that could reach 70 millions. But now we have the potential to reach 170 millions. And from that solutions, we try to drive the traction in the market and so forth, refine the features, collaborate with more merchants, do marketings, and all effort that we do to drive the solution to the market. And at the moment, we have passed more than 40 million users. It means from the whole population of 170 million people that are connected to internet, we have reached 40 million. 130 millions to go. We're targeting 100 million in a couple of years, and the whole 170 millions to follow, and then eventually all Indonesian, and we will provide that financial services to them. So this is the kind of thinking that you should have when you want to solve problem and you want to come up with innovation. You need to be able to clearly define the problem definition. It should be um, projected into a particular metric. This metric should be quantifiable and it should be measurable. And then from there, from being so data driven, you can come up and design your solution and see how effective actually your solution in tackling the problem. If you're not moving the needle, if you don't really uh, achieve the target, then your solution is not really effectively solving that problem. So the question again is, after you have a problem, you need to check, does your solution effectively solve the problem? Remember, you need to have metrics, quantified and measurable, and be data driven. So from the problem that you have defined, you come up with a solution, then you apply that solution, and then you need to measure and see whether your solution really effectively solve that problem by checking whether it is above your target, hit the target, or actually below the target. If it's below the target, you're not solving that problem, or maybe still on the way, not yet really solving that problem. But you have a very clear reference on whether your solution is effective or not. And then the next question is, how to find a problem. So before you can come up with a solution, you need to have a problem first. But how do you find a problem? So it would need a sense of awareness on things that are going on around us. So the first thing that can help us is to look at things that are wrong, and then we can try to right the wrong. When we want to try to right the wrong, it means we will think and come up with a solution. As an example that I gave earlier, the wrong is we have 270 million Indonesians, while there is only a small fraction of Indonesian that is bankable. So that is the wrong, and we want to try to right the wrong. And there is a technology called mobile internet that we can actually leverage to correct or to right this wrong. Or if there is nothing really wrong, but you know something is good, is going to an end, you may want to come up with something to prevent the end of something that is good. So that is also another way to look at it, so that you can find problem that you can attack with your solution. But then if you say, I mean, there is no wrong yang we need to right, or there is no something good that is ending, then how we can come up with a solution? Again, to have a solution or to have an innovation, you need the problem first. So the first thing you need to do, if there is no right or wrong, or there is no prevent the end of something good, you may want to create the problem. What does it mean? It means you need to increase the quality. So it can be the quality of life, the bar of quality metrics, and so forth. That is why the importance of having a metrics that is quantifiable and measurable is to define whether you have a problem or not. If everything is already on target, everything is good, what you want to do is increase that target, so the actual will become below the target anymore. And then there is a gap. That gap is the problem. So you need to come up with something that can reduce the gap or eventually hit the target and be above the target. Once it is achieved, it will always be good, always above the target. You may want to create the problem again. How? Increase again the quality bar. You need to close that gap again. So that's how it is. So either you right or wrong, you prevent the end of something good, or you create a problem by increasing the quality bar. And yeah, to summarize this keynote, I think it will be very brief. I just want to give you some mindset and attitude and some understanding on innovations. So if you want to be an innovator, being an innovator means that you should have the right attitude towards problems. So you should actually be excited if there is a problem, because problem is something that cries out for solution, something that needs innovation. If there is no problem, there will be no solution, there will be no innovation. So you may want to really embrace problems. You want to have an awareness on how you can really detect problems around you, the things that are wrong, the things that are good that is about to end, or if everything is good, you want to increase the quality, then you have a problem. And then again, be data driven. It means you should be able to make a problem definition that are crisp, that are can be well articulated, and something that can be measured, that can be achieved. So ensure you define the metrics. It can be represented as numbers. It is quantifiable, and it is also measurable. From there, then you can come up or think about building a solution to address that problem, and use that metrics and measure the result to see whether your solution really effectively solving that problem. And then the next thing that you should have is the technology toolkit. Everything, the capability to do uh, programming, building websites, building mobile apps, building backends, building databases, AI, machine learning, blockchain. Any of these technology toolkit are something that you can use to solve that problem. But again, always remember what Steve Jobs said, that you should not start with technology and try to stuff it in, and like really try to push and see how it can really solve the problem. You should start the other way around. Think about what incredible benefits that you can give to the customers, what problems you can solve, what pains you can address, what gains you can give. From there, work backward and figure out which part of the technology that will be effectively solving that problem and will also be efficient. There are situations where you don't really need machine learning. All you need maybe is just a linear regression, as an example. So don't be the other way around, that you really try to stuff in cool new technologies, designing new technologies uh, to the market. Instead, you should start with what you can bring, what pains you can address, what gains you can give, and then work with the technology that can solve that particular problem. And the last thing is about execution. So um, 2 decades in the industry, building 2 tech startups, working for Microsoft, and now running a technology team in one of the biggest Indonesia e-wallet and payment platform. I've learned this, that idea is actually cheap. Execution is everything. So don't be afraid that someone may steal your ideas, or someone doing the exact same thing that what you are doing. What really makes the difference is not necessarily the ideas, it's about the execution. Who execute better, they will be the one who wins in the market. So that's something you really need to really understand. And there is also saying that we should work smart, we shouldn't really work hard. But the thing is, in today's world, everyone is smart. So to be really singled out from the crowd, to really make the difference when everyone is smart, is how hard you are willing to put the work in what you are doing. So being an innovator means you have the right attitude towards problems. You need to be very data driven. You need to define the problem in terms of metrics that is quantifiable, can be represented as numbers, it can be measured. And you have a technology toolkit, technology sets that you can use to apply. And then you have to execute. To close this keynote, yeah, this is what really drives me every day, and I hope, yeah, it can spark some inspiration in you, that you may want to really create impact by solving problems, creating values, and driving innovations, and then inspire others to do the same. That will be all from me for the keynote. And again, we can continue the discussions after the event and going forward into this several social media in LinkedIn, in Instagram, or in Twitter. Those are my handles there. Thank you very much. Then I will return it back to the committee. Thank you very much.